Good morning student. Today we will discuss about a new topic, origin and evolution of life. New topic, origin and evolution of life. The living matter shows characters like responsiveness, growth, metabolism, energy transformations, and reproduction. The living matter shows characters like responsiveness, growth, metabolism, energy transformations, and reproduction. The origin of life on the earth, is called as proto-biogenesis. Life came into existence from the non-living substances of the primordial earth about 3 million years ago. 3 billion years ago. Origin of life can be explained by following theories. First theory of spatial creation. In this theory of spatial creation, it is based on the religious belief without any scientific proof. It is the oldest theory of spatial creation. It is the oldest theory which is based on the religious belief without any scientific proof. It is supported by the theory of spatial creation is supported by major religions and civilization. It is supported by major religions and civilizations. Then according to this theory, all the living organisms, on the earth created by a supernatural power. Then second theory, cosmologic theory or theory of panspermia. Second theory, cosmologic theory or theory of panspermia. According to this theory, life on the earth came from distant planet. According to this theory, life on earth came from a distant planet in the form of spores or microorganisms and microorganisms. cosmozoa or panspermia. Cosmozoa or panspermia. Recently, NASA has reported fossils of bacteria. Recently, NASA reported fossils of bacteria like organisms. Fossils of bacteria like organisms on a piece of Martian rock recovered from Antarctica. Then third theory of spontaneous generation or abiogenesis. According to this theory of spontaneous generation or abiogenesis, according to this theory, life originated from non-living material spontaneously. Louis Pasteur disproved. The scientist Louis Pasteur disproved the theory of spontaneous generation. And gave the scientific explanation that life originated only from pre-existing life. Life originated only from pre-existing life or biogenesis. Then next fourth theory of origin of life is the theory of biogenesis. Next fourth theory of biogenesis. According to this theory, living organisms are always produced from. According to this theory, living organisms are always produced from pre-existing living forms. By process called reproduction. According to this theory, living organisms are always produced from pre-existing living forms by process called reproduction. These are the theories which explain the origin of life. Then next second point is the chemical evolution of life. Next point is the chemical evolution of life. According to this theory, the chemical evolution of life, which is also called as the self-assembly theory of origin of life. Chemical evolution of life, which is also called as life. According to this theory, life originated on earth. According to this theory, life originated on the earth by combination of several chemicals. By combination of several chemicals through constant chemical reactions. Over a long period of time. This theory was first formulated by Haeckel, but later developed by Russian scientist Alexander I. Oparin in 1924 and British biologist J.B.S. Haldane in 1929. The process of chemical evolution can be divided into following steps. The process of chemical evolution can be divided into following steps. The first step is the origin of Earth and primitive atmosphere. First step is the origin of Earth and primitive atmosphere. In this step, the universe originated about 20 billion years ago. 20 billion years ago by a single huge titanic explosion. The primitive atmosphere of the earth was quite different from present atmosphere. It was a reduced type devoid of free oxygen. Then second step, formation of ammonia, water and methane. Then next step is the formation of ammonia, water and methane. Primitive atmosphere was very hot. As it slowly cooled down, the lighter elements which is present in primitive atmosphere, which started to react with each other. The lighter elements which started to react with each other. Early atmosphere was rich in hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen and sulfur. Early atmosphere was rich in hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen and sulfur. Hydrogen being more active. To form chemicals on earth. Hydrogen more active in this atmosphere, and to form chemicals on earth like CH4, NH3, H2O and H2S. Then next step is the formation of simple organic molecules. The next step of process of chemical evolution is the formation of simple organic molecules. In this step, temperature of earth decreased. In this step, the temperature of earth decreased. Steam condensed into water. Steam condensed into water and resulted into heavy rainfall and the earth gradually cooled. Then this rainwater get accumulated on land to form. Rainwater get accumulated on land to form rivers, streams, lakes, sea and oceans. Means it forms a different water reservoirs on the earth. The atmosphere did not contain ozone layer which is absent in this atmosphere, and thus ultraviolet radiations reach the surface of earth directly. Ultraviolet radiations reach the surface of earth directly. The reactions resulted in the formation of simple molecules like monosaccharides, amino acids, purines, pyrimidines, fatty acid, glycerol, etc. The reactions resulted in formation of simple molecules like monosaccharides, amino acids, purines, pyrimidines, then fatty acids, glycerol, etc. All these simple organic molecules accumulated at the bottom of water bodies, accumulated on the bottom of water bodies. And these simple organic molecules which accumulated at the bottom of water bodies, the Haldane described it as the described as the hot, dilute soup or primitive broth. Hot, dilute soup or primitive broth. It did not show any degradation. It did not show any degradation due to absence of free oxygen and enzyme. Did not show any degradation due to absence of free oxygen. Absence of free oxygen and enzymes. Then next step is the formation of complex organic molecules. Next step is the formation of complex organic molecules. The hot dilute soup or primitive broth. Hot dilute soup or primitive broth was a neutral and free from oxygen. Hot dilute soup or primitive broth was neutral and which is free from the oxygen. Polymerization takes place. Polymerization takes place and simple organic molecules. Polymerization takes place and simple organic molecules aggregated to form. Simple organic molecules aggregated to form new complex. New complex organic molecules to form new complex organic molecules like polysaccharides, fats, proteins, nucleosides, nucleotides, protoproteins, then proteins. Formation of protein molecules. The formation of protein molecules is considered as a landmark. Formation of protein molecules is considered as a landmark in the origin of life. Landmark in the origin of life. Then proteins accelerate the rate of other chemical reactions. The proteins or enzymes which accelerate the rate of other chemical reactions. Then the next step of chemical evolution of life is the formation of nucleic acids. Formation of nucleic acids. The number of nucleotides. The number of nucleotides joined together. Number of nucleotides joined together to form nucleic acids. Nucleic acid, that is the RNA and DNA. Number of nucleotides joined together to form nucleic acids, that is the RNA and DNA. Nucleic acids requires acquires acquired self-replicating ability, means the self-replicating ability which is present in the nucleic acids, and the self-replicating ability is a fundamental property of living forms. The self-replicating ability is a fundamental property of living form. Then the next step of chemical evolution of life is the formation of protobiotes or process. Next step of chemical evolution of life is the formation of protobiotes or process. In this step, nucleic acids along with inorganic and organic molecules. The formation of protobiotes or process. In this step, nucleic acids along with inorganic and organic molecules form the first form of life. First form of life called protobiotes. Nucleic acids along with inorganic and organic molecules form the first form of life called protobiotes. Protobiotes, also called conservates. Protobiotes, also called conservates, and proteinoids or microspheres. Conservates and proteinoids, conservates and proteinoids or microspheres. Then the next, conservatives and microspheres. The conservatives and microspheres were non-living colloidal aggregation of lipids and proteinoids. Conservatives and microspheres were non-living colloidal aggregations of lipids and proteinoids. They turn into protocell, shows growth and division. Hence considered as the first primitive living system. Considered as the first primitive living system. Then the next and the last step of the chemical evolution of life is the formation of first cell. In this state, first cell developed by formation of step, first cell developed by formation of RNA and DNA system. First cell was anaerobic. First cell was anaerobic, heterotrophic, and obtained energy by chemoheterotrophic processes, which obtained energy by chemoheterotrophic processes. Miller and Urey, the scientist Miller and Urey, provided the first experimental evidence. Miller and Urey provided the first experimental evidence for Oparin's chemical evolution theory. For Oparin's chemical evolution theory. This is about the origin of life and chemical evolution of life. Thank you.